Hello students, greetings of the day. In the last video, we saw the half part of the third supplementary earthquake written by M.S. Mahadevan. Okay, first I summarize it and I continue the remaining part of the supplementary. Okay, listen, the characters in this story are Traveler, Bridge, a 17 years old boy who is the narrator, his uncle and the army officer. Okay, yes, let us see the story. The story begins with Bridge, a boy of kindness who welcomed the traveler. The traveler looked so tired and cold. Bridge asked him that he was a stranger to these parts or he was waiting for the bus to Badrinath. Anyway, wherever he was, he asked him to come with him. He had a tea shop of his own that was just past the bend in the road. He was carrying a can of milk to his shop. He invited him to his roadside tea shop. The traveler also went with him. He will treat him to the best cup of tea in all Garhwal. He introduced himself that his name is Bridge and he is 17 years old. He started this shop 2 years ago. Okay, Bridge started to narrate his story to the traveler. Before keeping this tea shop, he worked in a roadside shop outside Panipat. He had saved most of his earnings. By the grace of God, this shop provides him a decent enough livelihood. Bridge prepared a strong, sweet flavored tea with cardamom and served him. He informed him that he will shut his shop at sunset and walk back to his living place on the hillside. Moti is the name of his village, the village of his ancestors, but now it is gone. 4 years ago, one October night, the earth quaked. Tremors are common in these parts. Okay, tremors means a slight earthquake. Okay, the Himalayas may look solid, but the truth is deep down they are unstable. The terrible earthquake was felt as far away as Delhi and Lucknow. There was 670 villages in the valley. Out of that, 602 were destroyed. The earthquake lasted less than 5 minutes. Our village reduced to rubble and ended out hundreds of lives. At that time, Bridge had gone to Pari to buy his school books. He stayed the night at his uncle's house. They felt the tremor. They ran out into the open again and again. The tremor came. They spent the entire night outside. Pari lived through that night. Moti did not. Huge rocks were thrown across tracks and roads. The army rescue team took 4 days to arrive at Moti. Bridge was among the first to reach the village with his uncle. They were not prepared for what they saw. Their house, a 2-storied stone building built by his great-grandfather, was no more. His father had died of illness just 14 months ago. His mother took care of him and his siblings. His grandmother lived with them. The soldiers began to clean the debris. They had set up a makeshift camp. His uncle informed him that they had taken the bodies to the river bank. He performed the last rites and set off to Pari. Okay? Yes, all of you understood? Now, let us continue the remaining part of the supplementary. Okay, see book page number 84. It was I had last seen my family while leaving to Pari. They stood at the roadway and waved, "Ma, Grandma, Nilu and Puli. That is the way I will always remember them, smiling and waving at me, not as the white shadowed lifeless figures I saw. Bully, she was not there. They have not found her. My uncle said, the wild animals. Bridge, don't look like that. She is dead. But we must find her, I shouted. Bridge, get a grip on yourself, uncle pleaded. But I was beyond reasoning. I ran back to the village to the spot where my house had stood. There was still so much debris. I scrambled around, sifting the earth and stones. How long I was on my knees, searching, crying, searching. Boy, it is no use, a voice said. I looked up. The speaker was the army officer who had supervised the relief operation. There is no one alive in there, he said. Whom are you looking for? My sister, sir, I said, fighting to control my tears. All I want is to give her a proper cremation. Okay? Listen the meaning. Bridge had last seen him while leaving for Pari. They stood at the doorway and waved. Ma, Grandma, Nilu and Puli. Puli was missing. She was not there. His uncle also said that they have not found her. But Bridge wanted to find her. He ran back to the village to the spot where his house had stood. There was still so much debris. He was on his knees, searching, crying. The army officer said that it was no use as no one was alive there. He controlled his tears and said that he wanted to give her a proper cremation. Okay. So the next para, I stopped conscious that I was barking. I could see that he was bone tired. He looked as if he had not slept for days. His uniform was covered with dust. His face was creamy, but through all the dust and crime, I saw that his eyes were kind. My men have been on their feet for 4 days, he said softly, as if talking to himself. They have done all they could here. Tomorrow at daybreak we go to another village just like this, then another. He looked away at the sun setting behind the peaks. Down in the valley, the pyres burned row upon row. The officer muttering something shook his head and turned away. A terrible despair engulfed me. I lay there among the ruins of my house and cried. 10 minutes later, the officer was back. With him there were 3 soldiers armed with spades and crowbars. Without a word, the men began removing the debris. They labored doggedly. When it was completely dark, someone brought a few lit Petromax lamps. 2 hours later, a soldier called out, Sir. He stood in the middle of the small hollow. The wall had caved in at that spot. I recognized a part of a door, beneath it a small foot. Feverishly, the soldiers began to clear the hollow. Then they lifted the door. She is alive, someone said. Okay. See the meaning. The army officers were very tired. He looked as if he had not slept for days. His uniform was covered with dust and his face was full of tired. But his eyes were kind. The sun had set and the pyres means dead bodies. Dead bodies burned row upon row. A terrible despair engulfed him. He lay there among the ruins of a house and cried. A little later, the officer and his men came with spades and crowbars. When it was completely dark, someone brought a few lit Petromax lamps. After 2 hours, they found a small foot. She was alive. Okay? All of you understood? Yes. Now let us move to the next para. It was a miracle. She had been buried under the debris for 100 and 16 hours. She had survived the earthquake, the cold nights, and the wild animals. A ragged cheer went up, and the soldier wrapped her in a warm blanket and carried her to the tent where a makeshift hospital had been set up. Bully lived. The next day, I went to thank the army officer, but he was gone. I did not even know his name. My sister and I went on to live with my uncle. Soon after, I got a job at a dhaba near Panipat. Police stayed back. She started going to school. It waited on me that I never thanked that army officer. I hoped that one day I would run him into him again. Every time I saw an army man, I would hope it was him. For months I would search for his face in every crowd, and one day I did find him. Okay, see the meaning. It was a miracle. She had been buried under the debris for 116 hours. She had survived the earthquake, the cold nights, and the wild animals. The soldiers wrapped her in a warm blanket and took her to a makeshift hospital. Bully lived. The next day, Bridge went to thank the army officer, but he was gone. He did not even know his name. After that, Bridge and his sister went on to live with his uncle. Soon after, he got a job at a dhaba near Panipat. Bully stayed back. She started going to school. He wanted to thank the army officer but did not meet him. For months, Bridge would search for his face in every crowd, and one day he believed that he did find him. Okay, yes. See the next para. It was late on a winter's night. A truck stopped at the shop. A man got out. He looked familiar. When he stepped into the light, I saw that it was not him, just someone who bore a strong resemblance. The man was tired. He asked for a cup of tea. As I served him, sir, I felt this strange lightness, this sense of joy. When the man offered to pay, I did not take the money. The next day, it happened again. Every day, I would see someone, a complete stranger, a tired traveler who reminded me of that officer. It was as if he was everywhere, and every time I served him tea, I felt a surge of sheer joy. A month later, I quit my job at the shop and returned to those mountains. The shop owner was quite relieved. He had no use for a waiter who kept forgetting to present the bill to the customer. Now I am on my own and I am at peace. Here is your bus, sir. No, no money. You were tired. All I offered you was a cup of tea. Maybe it was the best tea in all Gargwal. Maybe not, but I am happy I could do you this small service. Wish you a safe journey, sir. May God be with you. Okay, see the meaning. Every day, Bridge would see a complete stranger who reminded him of that officer. The man was tired. He asked for a cup of tea. He served him and felt strange lightness, this sense of joy. When the man offered to pay, he did not take the money. He felt a surge of sheer joy. A month later, he quit the job and returned to the mountain. The shop owner was quite relieved. Now Bridge was the owner of the shop and he was at peace. The traveler heard Bridge's story and gave the amount for the tea. But he did not accept the amount and said that he could do him this small service. At last, Bridge wished him to have a safe journey. Okay, all of you understood the story? Yes. The supplementary got over. Listen the story and answer the book back 1 mark questions. Okay, this is your today's assignment. Okay, thank you.